Hello, everyone. Welcome to Doris and Kids. If you're new here, my name is Doris. I'm a mom of four. So this is my budget setup for 2026. If you like to budget or you're trying to learn how to budget, you're a single parent, then follow along with me. So what I'm going to be using for 2026 is this cash envelope, two of this cash wallet, and then my planner for 2026. The first thing I'm going to show you is my planner so you can see how I set everything up. I did set it up off camera. So I'm just going to do a walkthrough to show you what I actually have. The first page I have is my year 2026 goals, and I have three goals for 2026 for my financial aspect of my life. The first goal I have is to buy a house. I'm renting right now, and with kids, you just have a different kind of freedom with buying a house than renting, and it will allow us to have a backyard. My kids are outdoorsy; they love to be outdoors, so that would just give them a little bit of freedom that they don't have right now with us renting. Okay, the second thing up here is to pay off my credit cards. When I was in nursing school, my first semester, everything was put on a credit card to allow me to only work part-time and focus more on studying with my school. That way I didn't fail the nursing school. So then on the bottom, I have steps. As you can see, to buy a house, I don't have any steps up here. It's just because I don't know the steps of buying a house yet. So I left that blank. But to pay my credit card off, this step is I want to write down the total balance of all the money I have through all my credit cards and then pay off my high interest first because I feel like I'm losing more money with the high interest rate, and then go to the lower interest until I'm done with it. And then for me to be able to pay for it, I need to increase my income. My third goal for 2026 is to have 3 months of emergency funds saved up. And the way I want to do that, I want to figure out a total amount also because I don't know how much I need to save if I don't add everything up. So I want to add everything on my bill. So I'm going to wait until after January or to see how much all my bill is, just because the last year of nursing school, being a cellular program, I didn't have any time to do any of my budget planning. So I'm just basically don't know how much everything is right now, just because it's very easy for me to swap my credit cards and be done with it. The second steps for my goal is to increase my income. When I do increase my income, I have more money to put towards my emergency fund. And my third step in there is to spend less. So I'm gonna be doing some no spend month to try to increase my income, because if I'm not spending the money, then I do have a lot saved up to put towards my 3 months. Okay, the next part of that is when I flip this through in my planner, I have my bill tracker and my saving tracker. So the idea behind the bill tracker is that I wrote down all the bill I think I'm going to have in 2026, that what I usually have right now. And then up here, I'm going to determine if that is a need or want. And then every month, I'm going to write down how much I spend on that specific category. And the idea behind it is to let me know when I'm spending, to see what I can cut back if I'm spending too much at a certain point in time, and I can cut that back. And also all the ones, I can try to see if I can remove that, then just having it on there. Like for example, for prom, even though I have a one, it is named for me because I have a 6-year-old that I love. If you give a mouse a cookie and he have to watch those shows. So right now, even though it's a one for me, it's a name for him. And the next part in here is my saving tracker. What I have all my banks, because I'm going to try to put all my money in the bank to try to get interest rate. Pay on it. With Capital One, they have a very high interest rate that they give you back. So I'm going to try to move my money into the bank. So this is going to help me with tracking how much I have each bank to know how much I have saved up. And this is just going to be for my saving, not for any kind of checking account, because my checking account is where my bill's going to come from. So that's the idea I have right now. And in each month, I'm going to write down the total for that month in all the accounts. The next section on here is my sinking funds. So this is all the category I want to have as a sinking fund that I know I use for my car registration. I do that every year. I'm required to do that by the states, and I'm required to, I need to have a car to go places just for having the kids. And then holidays coming around every year. So I have car registration, holiday, birthdays, car fix it. I have an old car. My car is a 2008 Suburban. So it's very old, and things break down. So I need to be able to fix that. An emergency fund up here for 3 months. Kids clothes. If you're a mom, you know kids need clothes. I'm homeschool. My kids are in public school right now because I put them in public school when I started nursing school. And I'm going to let them finish out. And then I'm going to start homeschooling them again in August of 2026. I feel like with me living in public school right now will give me time to adjust to my new job when I do have a job as a nurse. So that would just help me to figure out my schedule of what time I have to actually homeschool them. And then I have self-care here from mom. My therapy recommend I have self-care because she feel like I have been in a very survival mode throughout my life that I need to get out of there and enjoy stuff. And I agree with her. So I'm going to start budgeting to have a self-care for me. And then I have some pages if I need to add more on there. But right now, I feel like this is what I want to start with. If I feel that I can always add more on there, but I don't want to overwhelm myself. And then the next part of my planner is the month at a glance. Is basically all the bills I have and I do this. Some of my bills are not in here right now just because I didn't look at all of them, and and I was just being lazy. So things I know that is due for certain time, I just write it in here. But this is what this page is for, and I'm also gonna use this page for my no spend challenge. So every day I don't spend, I'm gonna color into that specific day moving forward. That way I don't have too much of a plan of things around me. Okay, and then the next part in that planner is my actual budgeting for the month. So for every month, I'm gonna come in here, write down all my budgeting. This is what right now I think my bills are. I'm gonna write down my income up here. I made this planner, as you can see, it's not perfect, and I fixed it. I could go back in and reprint it, but I just don't want to. It works, you know. But I'm gonna have my income up here. So right now, all I have is my child support because I don't have an income. I finished nursing school. I'm trying to study for the NCLEX, and then when I get a job as a nurse, that will be on there. And then my sinking fund I want to work on first is my car fix it because my car sounds like it's about to break down. So I want to have something in it that way something happen, I can fix it. And I definitely need tire on my car. So yeah, that's the first thing I want to work on. The difference between this budget planner and my last budget plan in 2024, because I didn't budget at 2025 at all, is that I have weeks on here instead of just having to check my budget twice a month. I'm going to be checking my budget every week now. So every Sunday, I'm going to come in here and check my budget to see what I spend for each category, not just with my bill, but any kind of spending things with grocery and things like that. Because I feel like the more I do it, the more I'm going to pay more attention to where my money is going. I want to account for every cent of my money for 2026. So I figure I do that, and I have 5 weeks in here in case a month have an extra week or something. And then at the end of the month, I'm gonna add up everything I spent for that specific category up here. I feel like it's gonna help me keep track of it than just coming here twice a month. Then we flip this around. This is my tracking expense. I don't really think I'm gonna use this, but I had it in my planner, and I already had this printed out, so I just put it in here. But I don't think I'm going to use this. I'm going to explain to you why I don't think I'm going to use this. But basically, you have the date, description of what you buy, the amount, if it's a cash, debit card, or credit. Then it basically just repeats itself. So my next thing for my budget I have is these two wallets. Up here, this is a black wallet, and this is a pink one. I use this throughout the year of 2024 as my regular wallet, so it's kind of well down. But it's not broken, so I'm still going to use it. This is what a new one look like. And this is from my Etsy shop. So you usually have, it comes with these little clear envelope. Check this out. And then it open up that way you can use it to put cash and receipt and things like that in there. When you open it up, it has my credit card and driver license in here. And then I have the category that I know I spend a lot on throughout the month. I'm going like using all the time. So the first category I have in here is my grocery. And then the second one is my fuel for my car, self-care. Then I have house cleaning for cleaning supply. I have cookies. This is our cat. That's his name, and I buy things for him all the time. Family fun, and I think that's all I have in here. So the way I set it up, I have this clear envelope that I use this little thing on that I have for, I think before Madison was born. I bought this one on base for like $5, and it still works. Okay, so I have this little clear envelope that have the label on there is what's going to have the cash on it, and then the back of it is going to be where I'm going to put a receipt, because I don't want to put my receipt and the cash in the same envelope, and then when I go to the grocery store I'm trying to separate it while I'm trying to cash out. It gives me anxiety. So this is just going to be for my grocery, and this is going to be for my receipt. And the reason I told you I wasn't going to use the spending tracker these is because I have this in here. I made this little insert from my little wallet for each category. So every time I buy something, I have the date description, and then I have the plus or minus, and then balance thing on here. The reason I have the plus or minus because I plan on using the same insert for my sinking fund, so it's easier to just do that instead of create a separate one for it. That's one of the reasons I don't think I'm going to use the tracking expense, because of this little insert right here. The black one, I plan on using it for just my sinking funds, and when you open it up, it just have the category I have for my sinking fund for my planner in here. This is where I'm going to put the money for all my sinking fund. So it's the same category, and the only difference from this pink one and this black one is that cash wallet is going to stay in my room, and I'm just going to have the sinking funds in there for each of the category. And I'm also going to have a paper I have in the back. I just haven't put it in there. I'm going to have the same thing in here to write down for each category and things like that. Like right now, this is just one of my kids' clothing. I want to budget $400 for his clothes and the shoes for the whole year. And then I'm going to use that. And I told my kids, depending on if they use all the money or not, at the end of the year, they're going to have the balance left over. Just to help them take care of their clothes better, because my 11-year-old, she used her clothes as a canvas for drawing. So I'm having to keep replacing her clothes. So I use this as an incentive, be that, hey, you have this amount of money for the whole year to spend on your clothes. Whatever money is left over at the end of the year, that is your money. So you can do whatever you want to do with it. And I did that last year with my 17-year-old. I gave her money at the beginning of the year, and I told her, I'm not going to worry about buying you anything. This is the money you need to budget it. And of course, after 3 months, she was out of money. So now I'm just going to hold on to her money. I'm not going to give it to her for clothing. But that is what these are, and I just need to go and put them in here. The fourth thing for my budget I'm going to be using is these little envelope that I made. It's very easy to make, but it was very time consuming. Basically what I did, I used cardstock that I had, and I cut it 3x6, and then all I did was fold them up like this, and then I laminated them. If I'm gonna make this again, I'm not gonna laminate it because it don't need to be laminated. I can literally use a clear tape to seal that up, and it'll be fine. Okay, for the top of it, I made this little paper thing that come out, and every time I put whatever money I need to put in here, I would just color that out. And all I did was just the same card. Okay, and I just tape it to the top of it to have a little envelope to put this in. So what I end up with is these little cards that is 3x3, and then I can put a cash in here. So it has one on there for that specific day in the envelope. I'm just gonna put $1 in here, and then all the way to 100 card. And I put $100 in here and to add it up. Apparently this should add up to 5,000 or something. So that is what I have for my budget for 2026. Throughout the year, I may add things on there, but right now I try to make it as minimalistic as possible because I don't want to overwhelm myself, and then the whole point of budgeting just go away because I overwhelm myself and then I stop. If you have any question or concern, please let me know down in the comment. Thank you so much for sticking around, and have a blessed day. Bye.